I want to tell you a story about salsa. Not that dance thing, but the sauce. Salsa sauce, red salsa. Made by a man who works at the grocery store where Steve often goes. Steve, since he's been going to that store for years in a very regular way, has been nurturing very close relationship with the employees. They consider him family. And last week, one of the guys at the store made some wonderful, delicious salsa, and one of the other cashiers was having it, eating right there at the register with some chips, and she said, "Hey, Steven, here, come try this. Kyle made it." He said, "Well, all right." And he goes, "Wow, this is amazing." And he told Kyle, "This salsa is amazing. Well, what did you do? You gotta make some for me." Well, guess what? Many people, when they hear that comment, "You gotta make some for me," they're like, "Oh yeah." They all love to giggle. You know the giggle. And then that's the end of the story. But not this man, no. He took it to heart. Steven said, "Why don't you make some for me?" And Kyle said, "I will." And guess what? He did. And yesterday, he brought it to the store. And they texted Steven, "Hey, Kyle made that salsa for you. It's here at the store. Come and pick it up." But Steven wasn't feeling well yesterday and he couldn't go. And he told them, "Well, I can't make it today. Can you keep it in the fridge for me and I'll come in the morning and pick it up?" And well, he came this morning and he asked the cashier that told him, and she said, "Oh, I don't know where it is. It was here yesterday. I don't know what happened to it." And then he found Kyle and said, "Hey, Kyle, I'm sorry I couldn't make it yesterday. I wasn't feeling well, but I heard you make the salsa. Is it still here?" And he goes, "I kept it for you in the freezer in the back. Many people offered me money. They wanted to buy it. They wanted it for themselves. But I said, I made this for Steven. And I'm not giving it to you." Even though they offered him $10-15 for this jar of homemade, wonderful, holy salsa, he did not budge because he made it for Steven and he was faithful. And Steven gladly accepted it. He took it, he thanked him sincerely from all of his heart. Now, he didn't want to give him any money for it because Kyle would not have accepted it. So instead, he gave something to the other cashier and said, "Hey, you give it to Kyle in my name. He wouldn't say no to you because then you're going to have to keep the money and it's not your money to keep." And not only that, he asked Kyle before he left, he said, "Hey, Kyle, do you like cornbread?" "Well, of course." "You like spicy?" "Yes." "I'm going to take care of you." And Steven went home right away. Didn't wait. Didn't delay. He got busy. And he made him a homemade spicy cornbread with some turkey and some Parmesan cheese and hot chili peppers and all the good stuff that you can imagine putting in a cornbread. Because he wanted to honor the man who honored him. That even though Steven was late in coming to pick up this precious gift, and he could have given it to anyone else, he could have said, "Well, Steven, you didn't show up. I made it. They wanted it. I gave it to them. Yeah, they bought it. They gave me some." He could have done that. People do it all the time. I've had people do that. They say they keep something for you, and then they're like, "Oh, well, you're late." But not this one. He was faithful. He rejected all forms of bribery and all forms of temptations and remained faithful. And how amazing it is, this man, not a follower of the Lord, not a disciple of Stephen, not really close to him. They know each other from the grocery store, never met outside of the store, not sitting down, not meeting, and yet he went out of his way to make something especially for Stephen, because Stephen was so grateful and loved it so much, and he was willing to push back at other people so that he could truly deliver it to Stephen, so that Stephen be blessed. How amazing is that? Stephen has disciples who don't do that for him. People that know him, people that have been blessed by him, that have sat down with him, ate with him, spent countless hours and days and phone calls and counseling sessions and mentoring and you name it. They don't treat him with as much kindness as this acquaintance does, who works at the grocery store. It's amazing. Time does not dictate the quality of a relationship. It's just who you are. You can meet somebody and within minutes feel like you've known them your entire life. And you could know somebody for your entire life and you couldn't be further away from them and they could be a complete stranger to you. Because it is all about having a kindred spirit. And it is a shame that most of those who claim to be followers of God, that should be having these kind of qualities and representing Him according to His love, tend to be the worst. Worse off than the unbelievers. See, the other cashier at the store is the one that he often talks about, with her mother that had some issues with heartburn and told her about watermelon, and the daughter, she's not a believer, but she acknowledged Stephen as a man of God and honors him. Why is it that the unbelievers have more respect for the men of God than the alleged believers? Well, I kind of answered my own question, didn't I? Alleged believers. Because it's not the men of God that are the problem. If you're a true follower, you won't be a problem. Because you cannot help but bear fruit if you're connected to the true vine. Now, the reason that most of you do not bear good fruit is that you're not connected. You have a form of godliness in as much as you claim to be religious and you claim to believe in God and you have a Bible. It's a form of godliness, but you lack the power of it because you're not connected to the source. You're not filled with the Holy Spirit. You're not walking with the Lord. Yeshua is not your shepherd. You have no intimate personal relationship with Him that you allow Him to lead you, to teach you His Torah, to write it on your hearts and actually fulfill the new covenant. It's about writing Torah on your heart so that you carry it out, so that you become that kind of person. And yet so many of these unbelievers have more Torah on their hearts than the alleged believers. And that is very sad, but it's the truth. And Paul said it in Romans chapter 2, a long time ago. And these people will rise up on the day of judgment and be witnesses against you. They didn't believe in God. They did not accept Yeshua, some of them. And yet they are closer to Him than you who claim to do.